Dear student, myself Rajendra Asari. I am assistant professor in computer science department at Government Bangat PG College, Didwana. In the previous lecture, we started a lecture series on database and management system, and we discussed various concepts on DBMS. Then just previous lecture, we started a new lecture series on physical storage media. In that, we discussed about storage hierarchy and classification of the storage devices based on various categories like primary storage, secondary storage, and tertiary storage. Right? So, in this lecture series, initially we started about overview of physical storage media. Then in the previous lecture we started magnetic disk concept. In magnetic disk concept, how the read and write head keep on reading the data which are put on the sector, and collection of sector are are building the track, and tracks collection are building the platter. Okay, so all these concepts we already discussed in very much detail in the previous lecture. Now in today's lecture we are starting a new concept, disk subsystem. So what is disk subsystem? Multiple disks connected to a computer system through a controller is called as what? Disk subsystem. Okay, now the controller's functionality are checksum, bad sector, and remapping. These three concepts already covered in the previous lecture: checksum, bad sector, and remapping. Right, these all are the controller functionality and often carried out by individual disks, which reduce load on the controller. Right, now disk interface standards families are ATA, that is AT adapter range of standard. Second is SATA, that is serial ATA. Third is SCSI, which means small computer system interconnect range of standard. Right, now several variant of each standard, it depends upon the speed and capacities or capabilities. Right. Next is disk subsystem overview. So if you see, I'm taking the marker. If you see, there are various disks available. Okay, and they are connected to a disk controller. As the name implies, it will control the operations of these disks, and these disks are connected with help of the disk controller through the system bus. Right, if you see, this is the system bus. So with help of this system bus, data can forward from one disk to another disk. Right. Okay, next is performance measures of the disk. In order to measure the performance of a particular disk, then there are various measures. So in form of time, first parameter is access time. What is access time? The time it takes from when a read or write request is issued to when data transfer begins. Means the time period between the request of read or write and the actual transfer beginning. These time interval is called as access time. Now this access time is further divided in two part, or we can say access time consists of, first is seek time. First category is seek time. What is seek time? The time it takes to reposition the arm over the correct track. Means if we want to make reach our head, or we can say arm head, to a particular arm or correct track, then the time it takes is called as seek time. Okay, now average seek time is 1 by 2 the worst case seek time. Okay, now it would be one third if all the tracks had the same number of sector, and we ignore the time to start and stop the arm movement. Means if we ignore the starting and ending time of arm movement, then the seek time will be one third if all the tracks are having the same number of track. Right, Now generally 4 to 10 millisecond is the seek time on typical disk. Next is rotational latency. So the rotational latency is the time it takes for the sector to be accessed to appear under the head. Means we can say the time it takes for the sector. It is for the sector to be accessed by to appear under the head. Now average latency is 1 by 2 of the worst case latency, and generally 4 to 11 millisecond on a typical disk is the rotational latency time, or we can say 5400 to 15,000 round per minute. Means in 1 minute the disk can rotate. The rotational latency can be up to 5400 to 15,000 round per minute, right? Next is performance measures on disk. Data transfer rate. First is data transfer rate. So the rate at which data can be retrieved from or stored to the disk is called as data transfer rate. It is typically 25 to 100 MB per second maximum rate, and it is lower for inner track. It is lower for inner track. Now multiple disks may share a controller, so rate that controller can handle is also important, right? Example, ETA is having 5, okay, 66 MB per second. SATA is having 150 MB per second. Ultra is having 320. SCSI, a small system computer system interface, is having interconnect is having 320 MB per second. And fiber channel, that is FC 2GB, is having the speed data transfer rate is 256 MB per second. Okay, so this is about the data transfer rate, the rate at which data can be retrieved from or stored to the disk. Either we are taking the data from the disk or we are putting the data back to the disk. Next is MTTF, that is mean time to failure. The average time the disk is expected to run continuously without any failure is called as MTTF, typically 3 to 5 years. Now the probability of failure of new disk is quite low, corresponding to a theoretical MTTF, right? And it can be of 5 lakh to 120,000 hours for a new disk. Example, mean time to failure of 1 to 5 times 0 hours for a new disk means that given 1000 relatively new disks, on an average one will fail every 1200 hours, right? So MTTF decreases as disk ages. Now optimization of disk block access. Block means a contiguous sequence of sectors from a single track is called as block. Now data is transferred between disk and main memory in blocks. Size range from 512 bytes to several kilobyte, right? Now smaller blocks, more transfer from the disk. Larger block, more space wasted due to partially filled blocks. Typical block size today range from 4 to 16 kilobyte. Okay, so these are about the blocks. Next is disk arm scheduling. Now in disk arm scheduling, in order to put our arm to a particular sector, there are various algorithms which order pending accesses to track so that disk arm movement is minimized. Now elevator algorithm, which says that move the disk arm in one direction from outer to inner disk or vice versa, only in one direction. Means suppose just do the task in one direction track by track, and then after doing in one direction all the tasks, then move back in the other direction. So processing the next request in that direction till no more request in that direction, then reverse direction and then repeat the same procedure. So this is all about the elevator algorithm. Okay, next is optimization of disk block access. Now in file organization, we optimize block access time by organizing the blocks to correspond to how data will be accessed. Example, if we store the related information on the same or nearby cylinder, then it can optimize or it can reduce the time. Now file may be fragmented over time. Example, if data is inserted to or deleted from the file, or free blocks on disk are scattered and newly created file has its blocks scattered over the disk. Now sequential access to a fragmented file results in increased disk arm movement. Now some systems have utilities to defragment the file system in order to speed up the file access. Okay, so files may get fragmented over time if we are inserting the data or deleting from the file, or free the block on disk are scattered. Okay, and newly created file has its block scattered over the disk, or sequential access to a fragmented file results in increased disk arm movement. Now some systems have utilities to defragment the file system in order to speed up the file access. Now optimization of disk block access. So non-volatile write buffer speed up disk writes by writing blocks to a non-volatile RAM buffer immediately. Now non-volatile RAM, it is battery backed up RAM or flashed memory. Even if power fails, the data is safe and will be returned to disk when power returns. Okay, controller then writes to disk whenever the disk has no other request, or request has been pending for some time. Now database operations that require data to be safely stored before continuing can continue without waiting for data to be returned to the disk. Now it writes can be reordered to minimize disk arm movement, right? Next is optimization of disk block access. Log disk, a disk which is devoted to writing a sequential log of block updates. Like it is used exactly like non-volatile RAM. Write to log disk is very fast since no seeks are required. No need for special hardware. Now in file system, typically reorder writes to disk to improve the performance. Now generally file systems write data in safe order to NVRAM. Okay, NVRAM doesn't require any special hardware, right? Or log disk. So log disk, what was the log disk? A disk devoted to return a sequential log of block updates. Okay, now reordering without generaling it, there is a risk of corruption of file system data. So this is all about the optimization and the blocks. So in this lecture we started about the disk subsystem. In disk subsystem there are various disk interface in standards available like ETA, SATA, SCSI, small computer system interconnect. Then all the disks are just connected to system bus with help of the disk controller. Then in order to measure the performance of a disk, there are various time measures like access time. In access time there are two partition, seek time and the rotational latency, which already we discussed in detail. Then data transfer rate, mean time to failure. Okay, then in order to optimize the disk block access so that we can easily access the disk block, there are various algorithms, disk algorithm, and the most popular is elevator algorithm, in which we are performing all the requests in one direction until there is no request pending, and then we reverse the direction and repeat the same process of the request satisfaction. Then in file organization, the data can be fragmented over time, so it depends on the some system have utilities to defragment the file system in order to speed up the file access, right? Then non-volatile write buffer also is used to speed up the disk writes. Okay. Then log disk concept and generaling the file systems we have discussed in this lecture. In the next lecture, some new concept on the storage media. That's all from this lecture. Thank you.